to collect textual evidence that supports inferences about different characters' perspectives on events in the text, and to make inferences about provided evidence to explain characters' perspective on events.
Who here went to Utah in 6th grade? Just raise your hand if you went. Awesome. Keep your hand up if you loved Utah. Interesting. Hands up if you did not love Utah, but it was an interesting experience at least. Somebody tell me why there might be two different opinions, two different perspectives on the trip to Utah. Latisse, go ahead. Can you guys all track me? Hold on. 1 second. Go ahead, Latisse. Hold on a second. Tell me. Go ahead.
Everybody has different perspective.
Perspective?
Yeah, perspective on their own opinion. Because different things can happen to different people in Utah.
Okay, but we were all there. Thank you, Latisse. We were all there as a group. Why is it that Genesis, as soon as I said, did you like it? She put her hand down, but a few other hands up around here stayed up. I know Aldred really enjoyed Utah, right? Why might it be that some people loved it and some people are like, oh God. Oh God. Helen, why?
Maybe some people like the outdoors more than others. So, and then the ones that don't like outdoors aren't used to like the birds and stuff.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Negron and I are obviously married, but we are also very different, right? We don't have very different opinions on things. In my opinion, going on a really long hike and going camping sounds like a really, really good time. In his opinion, that sounds really terrible. He would much rather stay inside and do something much more relaxed. So I'm the one who wants to go out and do stuff. He's the one who kind of wants to stay inside. We have different perspectives on the same events. For me, a hike seems fun. For him, a hike seems like work, right? That's pretty different. That's because there is no single story about any one thing, right? Something happens, everybody there has a different perspective on it. Something happens, everybody might have a different opinion on it. Now, opinion and perspective may not be the same thing, but today we're going to look at from everyone's point of view, from different characters' points of view, what one event in the story might look like. We're going to do that by starting with a cool book called The Witness. Now, we're not going to read the whole book. We're actually just going to read 3 little poems from it. So I'm actually going to ask somebody to read this section in a second. Before that, let me read the beginning. Today we're going to work on looking at literature through multiple points of view, beginning with an excerpt from Witness, a novel by Newbery Award winner Karen Hess. So a little more information on Witness. Go ahead, Michael.
Witness by Karen Hess is set in a small Vermont town in 1924 when the Ku Klux Klan moves in. The town residents begin to turn against one another.
Stop for a second. Raise your hand if you're familiar with the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, right away we know that this is going to be about what kind of major issue? Call it out.
Segregation.
Maybe segregation, maybe racism. Something like that is in the works here. Keep going.
The story is created through poetic voices of the various residents of the town.
Okay, so we have 3 different residents. The first one is Johnny Reeves. The second one is Leonora Sutter. And the third one is Reynard Alexander. I want you to take a moment to start looking at all 3. We're going to come back together in 3 minutes, okay? And I'm going to read them out loud just so that we're all together in these poems, okay? So take a moment on your own to look at all 3 and start reading them. Go. So we've now read 3 short little poems by 3 different characters, all about one event. Let's start with Johnny Reeves. We took a pine 40 feet high and lashed a cross arm to it and set the cross in the ground. I drew a picture of a cross. I'm going to draw my ground so that we know that it's sitting in the ground. Its arms stretching above the town. We soaked burlap bags in kerosene and wrapped the bags around the wood. At the foot of the cross, I smashed a railroad torch. The fire took off so fast. A divine sight, neighbor. The flames spread from the base to the top. In a matter of minutes, the cross arm pulsed with fire. The flames leaping, seeking heaven, neighbor. The white crucifix soaring, the night blazed perfect. Perfect. Before we move on to the next 2, I just want you to look for the words, the language that shows you his perspective on burning this cross. And I want you to do it with your neighbor. So I want each partner to work on this, right? Each partner chooses a word. So you're going to choose 4 words total. Okay, so partner 1, if you're closer to the windows, you're partner 1. If you're closer to the hallway, you're partner 2. Partner 1, choose a word, then partner 2. Go. Alright. Let me hear. What are the words that show us? All hands. All hands. I saw lots going on. All hands. Shania, what's one word? What does that show you? How does that show you what he feels? Maybe not crucifix. I'll come back to you. Choose another one. In the meantime, Milka, what's one?
Seeking heaven.
Can't hear you.
Seeking heaven.
Good. Seeking heaven. When you think of heaven, do you think of something positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. This idea of heavenly. Interesting. Other words that you saw. Shania, do you have anyone? Still looking. Go ahead, Shakaya.
Where said blaze perfect?
And then you said perfect again. What's another one? Shirley.
Where said divine sight?
A divine sight. How does Johnny feel about this cross burning in the ground? What's his perspective on this cross burning in the ground? Higher. Come on, little Rose, let's go. Show me how you feel. We circled some great words here. Aaron, what do you think?
I think he feels inspired because the last sentences really speak to us. He says, when he keeps saying neighbor, and then at the last sentence he said blaze perfect, perfect. And it's like he's talking to us.
Excellent. It's like he's talking to us, Aaron said. Add on, Ahmed.
He thinks it's like the noble thing to do.
He feels like it's noble. All right, Ahmed, let's look at the next poem. Leonora Sutter. I woke up Saturday night because the light coming through my bedroom window changed. On the hill across the valley, I saw a flame rising. I really drew that. But it was no wildfire. It was a cross burning. Silently, I crept down the hall into the closet where at the back Mama's cotton dress still dangled over her shoes, and the walls smelled of hair oil and oranges. In that dark and narrow place, I opened a hole for myself, but no matter how I turned, the light from the cross curled its bright claws under the door. Is she with Johnny?
No.
So is she seeing this event from the same place as Johnny? Call it out.
No.
Where is she seeing it from? Let's get oriented in the setting first. Kelvin.
From her house, I'm seeing it from the window.
Okay, so she's in her house, seeing it from the window. Let's find some words. Let's find some words that show us her perspective on this burning cross. Go ahead. I'm going to turn around and hope that there are a lot more hands up. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. So much better. Yes, I would love to hear from Shania. What are some words this time?
It said, I saw a flame rising.
Okay, she saw a flame rising. Smart. Or does not act very smart. Alright. She said she saw a flame rising. Okay, so we know where she is. Physically, she's seeing a flame rising. Her perspective, how it makes her feel. It's very different from Johnny Reeves. Let's hear from Helen.
It says, at the bottom, it says, the light from the cross curled its bright claws under the door.
What kind of image is that? What's it an image of?
It looks like the flame is going to your house.
Okay, so when she says claws, what kind of figurative language? Do you guys know what that's called? Do you remember what that's called? Go ahead, keep going.
It's called a lantern.
Yep. So what did she turn this fire into? Something with claws would be what, do you think, Ashley?
I think she said that she's going to be attacked.
Yes! This idea of being attacked. This is a monster to her. Okay? How does she feel? What is she doing when she sees these flames? I love the urgency here. I would like a little more energy up here. No, it's early, we can do it. Hands up. Shirley, tell me more.
First, but it was known about fire.
It was a cross burning. Okay, why? Why'd you choose that? Should I come back to you? Okay. Tell me more. Genesis.
She graduated, she hid in the closet.
Okay, interesting. She crept down the hall and into the closet. Why? Why'd she do that?
She's scared.
Okay, she's scared. How can you tell she's scared? What words show you she's scared?
Correct.
Okay, crept is a good one. What else shows you that she's scared? Neo, it's another one that shows you she's scared.
It shows that it says silently,
Good, silently, silently. And she goes and she seeks out Mama's cotton dress, and the walls smelled of hair oil and oranges. Why do you think the poet wanted to bring up the fact that she's in her mama's dress where it smells like oil and oranges? Why might she have done that? Bryce,
Because maybe,
you need to be much louder, my friend.
because maybe the girl, maybe her mom wasn't there, and she was finding comfort.
Yes, say that again.
She was finding comfort with her mom's stuff.
Good, she finds comfort. Awesome. The last poem, moving on, is the trickiest one. These perspectives. All right, now, if there's a better word than the one that was chosen, then we're going to go ahead and help her out by giving her something a little bit stronger, okay? But let's give Shakaya 2 snaps. Everybody, 2 snaps for being brave enough to share her work with us, because it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Sometimes teachers have to share their work in front of other teachers, and Ms. Koppel, you can agree with me on this, I'm sure. Sometimes teachers are really nervous to be chosen, so I get it that as a kid it can be nerve-wracking too. All right, so Johnny Reeves feels good about creating the cross and burning it. A snap if you agree that that's generally correct. Good. He sees the cross as something blank and blank. So seeing heaven and, I don't know what that says. Own sight, his own sight. Divine sight, divine sight. Okay, let's try and help her make it a little bit stronger. We agree that it's good. What's another word instead of good that we could use to describe the way he feels? Sterling. Satisfied. Excellent. What's one more? I saw a few other really good ones out there. Helen.
Inspired and nothing.
Inspired. So he sees the cross as something what and what? So he sees the cross as something seeing heaven. Okay, I'm going to change that a little bit to make it stronger, representing heaven. Does anybody have something else besides as seeing the cross as heaven to him? Yes. Aaron. Okay, can you put your hands up your head and try to tell us?
I put it as you see the cross as something religiously right.
Oh, interesting. So it's close to heaven, but we changed it up a bit. He said religiously right. Snaps if you agree with either of those two. Fantastic. Religiously right, and what else does he see it as? She said a divine sight. What was another version of that? Go on.
Perfect.
As something perfect. Interesting. So, she has right here a detail. Blazed. Perfect. Perfect. Snaps if you agree that that's a good one. Awesome. Let's look at Leonora.